Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Starting here with Vishnu Sahasranama, name 496, Uttarah. It's actually Uttarah, but my voice got choked on the last vowel, Uttarah. But before I get into that, I'll go back to a name that I spoke on in the last verse, Sattvastha, which appears in Bhagavad Gita, not directly to refer to Bhagavan, but to refer to the individual soul. But I'm going back to this because I'd missed it in my previous talk. In the word-for-word translation of this, in Bhagavad Gita 2:40, chapter 2, text 45, Srila Prabhupada translates this thus: in a pure state of spiritual existence. This is a basic precept or axiom of our understanding of Krishna. He's always situated in a pure state of spiritual existence. Spiritual existence means pure. Material existence means impure. Impure means not understanding one's relationship with Krishna, being influenced by lust, greed, anger, envy, illusion, pride. Get them all? Kamam, Krodham, Lobham, Moham, Madam, and Matsaryam. You better learn this properly, because most of the common people, they know this. So if you're supposed to be a preacher and you don't know it properly, it doesn't look very good. I guess you could translate that also if you're not too embarrassed to do so. Because it pertains to others who are supposed to be preachers, but they don't know these basic things. So we worship Krishna, He's supreme, and He's in a different category to us altogether. But we also can become like Him. By worshipping Him, we can also come to a pure state of spiritual existence. We wouldn't worship Him if He was only great. There are many great people. What's the name of the president of Sri Lanka? Sirisena Maitripala. So, he's a great person. We offer him suitable respect. But much greater than him are Indra, Chandra, Brahma, Shiva. I presume that he's sane enough to accept that also, which many of the leaders of the world wouldn't do. So, at least in Sri Lanka, people are more sane in many ways than most of the people elsewhere, including in India, for that matter. I didn't say Punyashali. You said it. I didn't say that.
Pious.
Did I? Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. But Krishna is always pure. We have the tendency to become impure, but Krishna doesn't have that tendency. And also from this we should understand that even if it appears to us that Krishna is impure, it's not. Krishna is always pure. When Krishna tells Yudhishthira to tell a lie, Krishna is still pure. When Krishna dances with the gopis, he's still pure. It's only our impure perception that makes him, by which we see him to be impure. Now, according to bodily laws of purity, if you put your hand on your mouth, that makes it impure. Krishna doesn't become impure if he puts his hand on his mouth, but we do. So please go and wash your hand, without touching anything else before you do so. Yeah, please go and do that. Yeah, right now. Okay, so moving on to Shlokam 53. name 496. Yeah, Uttarah. Maybe you've heard this word. I'm not sure if it comes in Tamil. It's a common enough word in North Indian languages. Does it come in Tamil at all? Uttarah? But you know it from Hindi and Sindhi. Yeah.
I know the name of Uttarah. Abhimanyu.
Oh, I see. Yeah. This is female. His wife, Uttarah. Yeah. So what does it mean in Hindi? North, and another meaning? Answer. Yeah, answer. In modern Hindi they usually say jawab, which is Urdu, but pure Hindi is. But the main meaning given here, or the first meaning given by most of the commentators, is ut, up, and tara, to raise. So one who raises up. So it means he rescues us from birth and death, rescues the devotees from birth and death. He rescues the devas from the attacks of the demons. He lifts us up from I was just talking about the impure consciousness of Kam, Krodh, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. He lifts us up from that. That's another reason we worship Him. He can save us from birth and death. To give that example of the president, again, you say president in Tamil? He can lift us up. He could appoint you as in some high post. He can lift a whole area up by giving special development facilities, allocating funds, and so on. But Krishna can lift us up from birth and death. By the grace of a politician, we can be lifted up in human society. But we are certain to fall down into the lower species in due course of time. But Krishna lifts us up beyond, far, far beyond this material world. Because He Himself is Sattvastha. He is always situated in purity. And He is Vibhu, this name just came, most powerful. So He can lift us up. We can't lift ourselves up out of Maya. Devi Esha Gunamahi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Taranti Te. Give the translation. Of course we must try to get free from Maya, but we should understand that ultimately we can only get free by the mercy of Krishna. And because Krishna is Vatsala, that's a name which just came, which means He's very affectionate to His subordinate devotees. So He's very inclined to uplift His devotees. As Srila Prabhupada used to say, if we make one step toward Krishna, He will make 10 steps toward us. Uttar also means, north. We gave that reason. So north gives the idea of what's up, what's on top. And Krishna is always on top. Baladev Vidyabhushan states that in his rendering of this name, gives the meaning that because Lord Krishna possesses unlimited wonderful potencies, He is the best of persons. Now, Uttara also means reply. Reply, answer. And although the commentators, it's not recorded here, any commentators have given this meaning, I will venture to comment in this way. Remembering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime of cleaning the Gundicha temple, being accompanied by his associates in doing so. So they were sweeping the floor, bringing heavy jugs of water from the nearby Indradyumna Sarovara, or was it Narendra Sarovara? Can't remember. And then throwing the water to wash away the dust. But they had a special language for doing so. Instead of saying, bring a jug of water here, kalasam, or throw it here, or do you need more water? They would only say, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So everything they said and every reply was only Krishna. Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna. Bring it here. I'm bringing it. But it's all by indication and Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And also, there was one godbrother of Srila Prabhupada's who is known as Krishna Das Babaji. And whenever anyone asked him a question, he would reply, Hare Krishna. That was mostly his reply to every question. Often, at the end of classes, I asked, does anyone have any question? And often a devotee, before they say the question, they say, Hare Krishna, to which I sometimes say, well, that's the answer, what's the question? Krishna is the answer to all questions. Why am I here? What am I doing in this world? Where should I go? What is the meaning of existence? Complex philosophical discussions. Is there any such thing as a priori knowledge? I have no idea. I don't know Tamil, but I have no idea. I guess in Sanskritam you could call a priori knowledge svata siddha jnana. The term comes. Sanskrit is meant for philosophy, among other things. But you can do whatever you like. Stuck. So what's the answer? Krishna. Just say Krishna, that's all. But it won't help translating much. Okay. This is what you do when you're translating. You don't know how to translate something. Do you know what a priori knowledge is? Knowledge that's inherent in us, not coming from any outside source. In the Indian philosophical systems, when there are some who propose this and some who oppose this. So those who propose it say that, you see, even the child, this example Srila Prabhupada also gave, when the child is born, he knows to suck the breast of his mother. He doesn't have to go to a university to get instruction on that. Srila Prabhupada used this example to demonstrate the presence of the Paramatma, the Supersoul. What the philosophers would call inherent knowledge, the theists say that, well, that knowledge is supplied by the Paramatma within the heart of everyone. And really, Krishna is the answer to all philosophical inquiry. When we talk of philosophy, our understanding is different to that of what people in general understand it to be. Although I don't think anyone in Batticaloa discusses philosophy at all. Is it outside of here? No. It's not on the agenda. But there are persons, and there have been throughout history, who are very bothered about trying to understand everything, and they have so many questions to ask, and if they even get any reply to any question, then they find that the reply opens up another set of questions. So they can study philosophy for their whole life, and at the end of it, they may understand, well, I didn't understand anything. I didn't come any closer to understanding anything than before I started. I just heard a story about a Western Zen Buddhist teacher. So he was approached by a prospective disciple. He said, teach me about Zen Buddhism. And so the Buddhist teacher said, we see the 3 trees that are standing there. Tell me what it means. So he looked at it and said, well, maybe 3 trees were planted by someone, and that one was in the middle, and it looks very picturesque. He said, no, you're not fit to study Zen Buddhism. He said, if you come back with a good answer, I can teach you. So he was thinking about it, and he came back the next week and he said, well, you see, the roots go down and it helps to nourish the what do you call that? The biological ecosystem at the roots, and it gives out oxygen into the atmosphere, and it described it in a biological way. And the teacher said, get out of here, you're not fit for studying Zen Buddhism. So he was thinking and thinking and thinking day and night and became almost crazy. And eventually he ran up to the teacher and yelled at him, what do you mean meaning? It doesn't have any meaning. And predictably, if you know anything about Zen Buddhism, he said, yes, now you're fit to study Zen Buddhism. So it begins on the supposition that there's no meaning to anything, emptiness. Yeah, but devotees can explain. Well, this the form that we see is produced of material nature. The living being that gives life to the structure of the tree is a living being who is an eternal servant of Krishna but has forgotten that. It's a condemned species. We can go up to the tree and chant Hare Krishna to benefit the jiva in that tree body. Some of the mundane philosophers, they became frustrated with Srila Prabhupada. Someone criticized his translation of Bhagavad Gita. He said, well, you just explain everything in terms of Krishna. And Prabhupada took that, not as it was supposed to be a criticism, but Prabhupada took it, yes, thank you. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvang cha mai pashyati. Tasyaham na pranashami sachame na pranashiti. Krishna says, whoever sees me in everything, and everything in me, for him I'm never lost, and for him I'm never lost, and he is never lost to me. So if the message of Bhagavad Gita is to see Krishna everywhere, then certainly we should see him in every shloka of Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is the answer to all questions. All questions can be answered in relation to Krishna. We may say, well, how far is it from Batticaloa to Colombo? Krishna. And we say, well, that's not a very practical answer, is it? What is the answer? 250 kilometers by flight, by as the crow flies, as they say in English. Okay, well, so if you say 250 kilometers, where's Krishna in that? But if you say that, then the devotee sees Krishna there also. It's not, yeah. The devotee sees Krishna in that also. Why is it 250 kilometers? No, not in the middle of the class. Krishna made it like that. You may say, well, Krishna, he didn't make Colombo or Batticaloa. They're both cities made by human beings. Yeah, but they did so how? By the intelligence and the impetus given to them by Krishna. Apart from that, when we talk about Krishna as the answer to all questions, we don't go to a guru and ask him how far is it from Batticaloa to Colombo. Tasmad gurung prapadyeta jignasu shraya uttamam. One should approach a guru to ask about one's highest benefit. So this is the kind of topics that we should discuss. These are the topics we discuss in our classes that we have. Okay. I think I'll stop there because the next name it's going to be a long class on the next name. I recently did a class on one name. It went over about 7 sessions, and that was only without translation. That was about 6 hours or something like that. On Vishnu Sahasranama. What was it? I can't remember myself. Vatsala. Oh, that no. That I gave Dharmakrit. Yeah, Dharmakrit. Vatsala was another long one. But I did that, I think, in one session. No, more than one session. But Dharmakrit, one who makes Dharma. So in the discussion of that, I gave so many objections to Krishna. Why people say he's immoral. So I was answering all of those in the point of Okay. Actually, there's one name in there which comes just after that, Dharmi. And afterwards, as I happen to be discussing that now, the meaning of Dharmi, it's a construction, something like yoga, yogi, karma, karmi, dharma, dharmi. So it's a construction like that, which I didn't speak on because I didn't think of it previously. And of course, jnana, jnani, it works around the other way, bhakti, bhakta. So a yogi, in the fullest sense of the term, is one who is engaged in yoga. Yoga can mean a practice, but yoga ultimately means to be linked. So the full meaning of yoga is not the practice of yoga, but the perfection of yoga. So one who is linked, one who is linked up is a yogi. So in the same way, dharma, there has to be someone who is dharmi. It's not just a concept, but there have to be people who act according to that. So Krishna is the supreme dharmi. He acts according to dharma, and dharma is dependent on him and aimed at him. So just as yogi means one who is linked with Krishna, that's the ultimate meaning. So similarly, dharmi means one who is following, who is the same way, he's in harmony with Krishna. And just as Krishna is the supreme yogi, he's the supreme dharmi. Yogi means one in whom yoga is observed. Dharmi is one in whom dharma is observed. Now these are all somewhat technical analyses. Vicharam, analysis. Hare Krishna. I didn't get anywhere near to quote. I was going to quote from this, but I didn't come to that name. So okay, Hare Krishna. Any question about this? And you know what the answer is before you even ask. Of course, Krishna takes many forms. He's not only the name Krishna, he has at least 1,000 other names. So if there's any question about this, you could ask, yeah.
Bhakti Thakur explains that Dharma Dvaji, one who pretends to be religious, is even worse than...
One who pretends to be religious, Dharma Dvaji, one who waves the flag of Dharma. It literally means that he's worse than someone who doesn't follow religion.
Or even than sense gratifier.
Worse than sense gratifier. He is a sense gratifier, but he pretends to be. That's similar to what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? That Mityachara se uchite. Yes, Tvindriyani sanyamya. No, that's the verse after. How does that begin? That verse? Mityachara se uchite. Do you know how that verse begins? Oh, where does that come? Well, I'm not finding it. Yeah, oh, okay, anyway, what's the question? Oh, here it is. Karmendriyani sangyamyaya asre manasasmaran indriyarthan vimurhatma mithyachara uchate. One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. Yeah, and then?
So as long as we are not on the pure level, then...
then we have to come to the next. So as long as we're not on the pure level, are we just making a show?
In that category, or people have very high expectations.
Yeah, well then the next verse, Krishna says, Yes, twindriyani manasa niyam yarabhater juna kamindriyai karma yogam asakta savishishyate. On the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior. Niyatang kuru karma tvam karma jayo hiya karmaraha. Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. And then yagyartat karmano nyatra. One should work for the sake of yagya, for Vishnu. The argument that if you're not pure and you follow bhakti yoga, then you're just cheating, then that would mean that no one could follow it unless they're completely pure. But it is the process to become pure. One who makes a show of being a devotee specifically for fulfilling material desires, who's not trying to get free from material desires, is a cheater. For instance, if someone approaches someone else and says, give a donation for the temple, but actually he gets what he's really thinking of is that I get a commission on this, and so what I really want is to get money for myself and my family. That is a kind of cheating. Someone is a Swami getting respect from all the people, but then secretly he has girlfriends. That is cheating. Now, one may have material desires, but then if he's seriously practicing, he doesn't indulge in those desires. There's a clear difference between someone who's pretending for the sake of sense gratification and someone who's seriously trying to become purified. The problem for the practitioner can arise when people presume him to be on a higher level than he actually is. Because he acts in a very pure way, they may just presume that he's very pure at heart. Which actually he is. Even to try to live like that means very pure at heart. But to underestimate the power of Maya is very dangerous. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always recommended humility. Always give credit where it's due. If someone offers respect to us, we should always say, yes, this is due to my Guru Maharaj. Prabhupada saved me. Hare Krishna. That's the answer. Hare Krishna. Why are there so many flies here? Well, you may say, what's the reason? There's all garbage around. Maybe that's the reason. But ultimately, everything's under the control of Krishna. So ultimately the answer is Krishna. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.